Yep. Uh-huh. Ha ha ha. And we're back. We're back. Just want to settle in here, start with some deep breaths, just some. I get pretty excited when I start the podcast. It's like pretty fun. Get that almost kind of nervous, excited feeling for it still, which tells me that I still like doing them. You know, it's still fun to me. In today's episode, let's just dive right in. Why don't we? Let's get into it. Pod 13. I mean, I'm really Michael Jordan on the pod court in a sense, because I'm out here just shooting my shot. You know, what's the saying? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Well, I'm going to be continuing to shoot the shots, okay? So this is pod 23 of them. Let's get into it. Today's going to be fun. Y'all had some questions. I have some answers. Let's dive right in. Let's cut some corners. So today on the podcast, we do got something on the shelf. I like having something on the shelf. Today's a good one. We're going to settle in a little bit. We're going to keep a little bit quicker pace on this podcast. But what's on the shelf today? Let's get into it. Wabang. Wadoom. iPhone 15, pick it up. Uh-huh. And this is a lager from Tivoli Brewing Company. Tivoli, however you want to say it. This is a 5%, 19 IBU, International Bitterness Units. And it's a Colorado lager. Right from here, right in town, right here. This is where this is from. And I can't pronounce that. I don't know if that's Hell's or Helles or Hell's. Hellzaz. I don't know. But this is what it is. It's a beer. Okay. Cheers to whoever's listening. Thank you for sending in questions. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for engaging, finally. I mean, you guys really were getting me worked up in the beginning. I mean, I was out here screaming into a void. Shout out Aaron Vince. Hope you're doing well, brother. But yep, let's hear the sounds that this makes when I crack into it. And let's get into those questions. Here we go. Put it right here. Come on, just like we practice. Okay, here we go. It's a very subtle sound. And when I pop open a new can, a brew, I usually twist the little flipper thing to the right or left. I just like to turn it. I don't know why. It's because I have a larger nose and it hits it sometimes. But here we go. Let's try this. And I just felt the pressure of my being just kind of deflate. I mean, I feel, that's pretty good. That's a nice beer. It tastes so good. I'm not even going to try to describe it. I mean, I can't put it into words, man. You just got to get you one. Tivoli. Check them out. It's a nice lager. Very nice. Very smooth. Praise God. All right. Well, that's good. We're moving along quick here. Keeping a faster pace. I want to keep going. I don't want to get too meta, self-referential on stuff that doesn't pertain to you, the audience. I want to be speaking to the audience. So just to give a little bit of a format for the podcast, you guys already know what it is. It's the AMA podcast. You guys sent me questions on Instagram on this link I made, and you guys sent some anonymous questions. So these are from people on my from people on my Instagram close friends. The list changes. Sometimes it varies. Sometimes I got about 40 people on the close friends. Sometimes I got about 100. And depending on the type of day I'm going to have, I'm going to go through that list and then either kick people or add people. I don't know how I decide it. It's a little bit arbitrary, but the close friends list does fluctuate, but it's usually less than 100 people. And I opened up to my Instagram close friends. I said, hey, if you guys got questions, let's hear them. You guys sent them in. You guys sent in about 15 questions, which I was pretty pleased with. That was 5 more than, what I was, the benchmark I was shooting for. I was hoping to get 10, but y'all sent 15, so that's great news. So I don't know who sent them. I'm going to put them up. I'm going to put the questions right here, and I'm going to answer it. I've briefly ran through them, but I haven't really thought about them. So I'm going to have to, hopefully I come up with some good answers on the spot. I like the exercise of thinking in real time, of having to creatively process information and think in real time. I like that. So these questions, let's get into them. Let's do it. And I got the iPad Pro today, as you guys can see. All right. So, about 7 minutes in, we're going to crack into this first question right here. All right, first question. Ask me anything. Somebody asked, some anonymous person asked me, what's your favorite color and when did you make that decision? Growing up, my favorite color was green. Like a little kid, it was green. And I don't know why I picked that color, but I picked it. And then I remember around 5th grade, I switched my favorite color like pretty intentionally. I basically woke up one day and was like, today, my new favorite color is navy blue. So I liked navy blue for a while. And I would tell people navy blue was my favorite color. But deep down, green's always been my favorite color. Green is not a creative color. You guys know that. But then I came back around later in life and I'm like, dude, I like green. Why am I denying that green's my favorite color? And now it's kind of part of my branding and whatnot. So it's green. Now it's kind of an evergreen, a dark forest green. I love that color. It's the color that's on my Instagram color I wear a lot. Dark green's my favorite color now. Little elementary question-esque. Maybe my niece asked me this because this is a pretty basic question, but good question. Let's move on. The next question we got that someone sent in. Someone asked, what do you do for work? What do I do for work? Let me think what I do for work. What do I do? I sell solar. I have been working in the door-to-door industry for the last 3 years. So I'm in direct sales. Direct sales means that, well, one, I'm not an employee. I'm not, a W-2. I'm technically self-employed on paper. I'm a 1099. Self-employed means that I'm in charge of my income. No one's paying me hourly. I'm 100% commission. So if I don't produce, we don't eat. Remy's going to have to go a couple days without food if I'm out there selling, son. So I got to provide for Remy. And I got to provide for my family. And I love the format of earning my income 100% commission. I like that my effort and input hours and my skill level and my competence is tied to my income. I know a lot of jobs, most jobs are not like that. Most jobs are hourly, aka trading time for a flat rate, hourly rate. The other version of that is salary, where that's where you make a lump sum and they'll work you to the bone Oh, we need you to stay an extra 5 hours today. Can you do that? Sure thing. And guess what? You're going to make the same amount because your salary. It's funny that our society makes salary sound like, I remember growing up thinking salary was, the end all be all. So when I graduated college and I got on some salary, I was like, let's go. Showed up to the job, found out my manager was allowed to keep me at work for longer, and there's no overtime pay. So I was a little shocked by that. But what I do for work is I sell solar. And I don't necessarily like to frame it that way, but I am a direct sales rep, and I basically go out into neighborhoods in Colorado Springs. I pull up in my Honda Accord, park that, hop out, scope out a house, and I just walk right up to it. Never seen them, never talked to them, and I just knock on the door. And my whole job is just talking to people. That's how I make my living, is I conversate with people. I spark people's interest, and I create curiosity about what I've got, about the value of my product, about what I'm, about the company I work for. And I have a bunch of conversations throughout the day. And about 1 or 2 people every day I'm out there, I'll be able to spark enough interest, or maybe they were already thinking about solar, or maybe they just liked me and they were like, you know what, I like you, I'll look into what you got. And then they start the sales process with our company, and they start looking into solar. We build value, and if it makes sense, if we do a good job, we close them down. They sign up for our product, our service, our solar, and then we make commish. And that's what I do. So I knock on doors, love my job, wouldn't trade it for the world. I know the stereotype and the stigma around knocking on doors, but I like being the defiance of that stigma. How about that? Good question. Thank you for that question. Moving on. Next cue in the queue. This stranger asked, what's your favorite worship song? Favorite worship song? Let me think. That's a good one. I just started going to a new church about start of this year. Haven't been there long enough to really latch on to any of their songs, but at my previous church, there was one song I really liked. I can't remember what it was. I would sing it. I know it's there. I don't even know the name of it, but it's like, I don't walk the walk that I used to since I laid my burdens down. Yeah, that's that one. I don't walk the walk that I used to it's something like since I laid my burdens down. Yeah, I don't even know who it's by. I don't even know the title, but I know how it goes, kind of. But yeah, it's called Since I Laid My Burdens Down. Maybe if you YouTube that, you'll find that. Sorry, I didn't have a very good response for that question, but it's called Laid My Burdens Down, and it's a worship song. Moving on. Oh, this is a good one. How did you meet your fiancé, and when's the wedding? So me and Asia, we met back in our college town in Kentucky. We were both students at Western Kentucky University. I was a senior, she was a freshman, and we met at the gym on campus. My last year, I got a job at the fitness rec center. I was the desk guy. I was checking people in. People would walk up, hand me their student IDs. I'd swipe them in and say, hey, have a nice day. It's a fun job. I talked to a lot of people doing that. And Asia had a friend that worked with me at the desk. And Asia was always kind of, she'd go work out and then she'd come hang around the desk. She'd be around. And we just started talking, kind of, it was pretty nonchalant. But there was one day, I remember one day when we started actually becoming friends, I found out that she had a blog. She was writing kind of like poetry and things that, you know, mattered to her. And she had her own little like blog website, and I thought that was cute and cool. And I was, at the time I was into writing. And so I remember we had a conversation about writing, and I told her about this platform I write on Medium. And that was really kind of the first time we really talked, I guess. But that was back in 2019. And then we were friends for about a year. We were friends into COVID, and then COVID happened, and everything started changing after that point, basically, in a nutshell. That's it in a nutshell. And then when's the wedding? Well, we've been engaged for a while now. We're having a long engagement. But we got engaged at the start of 2022. So it's already been 2 years. But we are planning and aiming for a wedding next summer, 2025. It's a long time. So we'll have a little bit longer engagement. We just had a lot of life happen to us both in the last couple years. And I proposed to her right before I just quit accounting and got into direct sales, and I was about to embark on my second summer selling, and I knew that I would be in a new, I'd be across the country from her while she finishes up her last semester of college. And I knew that we'd be long distance, and I just wanted to commit to her, let her know that I was committed to her before I moved away. And so yeah, we got engaged like 2 years ago. But yeah, she graduated college. I was traveling for my new direct sales job, moving all around. And then we decided to pick up and move, to where we are now. So we just had a lot of life events happening. And then we have other close family and friends getting married this year. So it's looking like summer of 2025 is when the wedding will be. Good question. All right. Got this brew. These are some good cues. Thank you guys for sending these in. I'm really, really liking them. This is fun. Isn't it? Isn't it? All right, next question. What are we on here? All right, the fifth question of the 15. Here we go. Where's your favorite place you've done door-to-door? My favorite place, man, I could tell you the worst place. I can tell you the worst place, and I'll tell you the best place. The worst place is Macon, Georgia. Hands down the worst place I've ever sold door-to-door. And Macon is basically the dirty undercarriage of Atlanta. Hang on. Macon, and all the signs in Macon, Georgia, all the signs play off the word Macon. They're like, we're making bacon, come get you breakfast, or making we're making bacon in the oven, these biscuits. Like, every business is all about the Macon, like, so corny. I mean, Macon was dirty. It was dirty and crime-ridden, and everyone there was very mean to me. And I did not like that about it. And also, the living situation of the work was bad there, and I wasn't producing, and I hated my life. Anyways, so that's the worst place. Where's the best place? Let me think. I've sold in some cool places. The first time I did door-to-door was in Lake Havasu, Arizona. That's a pretty amazingly beautiful place. Lake Havasu, Arizona. That's where I learned the ropes. My first blitz was in Lake Havasu. That was cool. I've sold door-to-door in Savannah, Georgia, too. Savannah was a pretty cool spot. I really liked selling down in Savannah, Georgia. Something about the heat. Something about the super luscious, tall, green, the sun just baking into your skin, the dramatic blue skies flooded with beautiful fluffy clouds, just bright light shining through, the water, the downtown waterfront, the historic downtown, the culture, the Spanish moss, the the gator, the alligator, the greenery of it all. The greenery of it all in Savannah. That was a very fun place to work for the summer, and we had a good summer down there. And I really miss the people that I did that summer with. Kind of making me sad reflecting on it. But I would put Savannah, Georgia is probably my favorite place I've sold door to door. Good people down in Savannah. All right, moving on. Let's keep it rolling. What was the most important thing you learned in college? Could be inside or outside of classes. What's the most important thing I learned in college? Gosh. The most important thing I learned in boarding school is... the most important, gee whiz. I can't even narrow it down. I learned so much. But if I had to narrow it down, I would say the most important thing I got from college was learning what I don't like and learning about how I fit into the bigger picture of society. Realizing how I fit into this big pool of studentry. When you're on campus, when you live on campus, you're in a big pool of about 20,000 other kids. Your peers, they're all about the same age. And what you learn being in college is you learn how you compare to the other people. You learn about yourself by being surrounded by so much different. So you really pick up on what you like, what you don't like, and kind of who you are. I remember when I started college, I was kind of done with partying. I partied a lot in high school because I played football, and we just did. I got a head start on all this all this party jazz. And in high school, I was like, I'm done with this. I want to expand my being. I want to grow. I want to learn. I want to mature. And so when I got in college, I thought a lot of other people would be on that same page. Wrong. I remember being a freshman and everyone was obsessed with partying. Don't get me wrong, I still partied, but it was the whole fraternity thing. A lot of guys on my floor freshman year, we were really cool the first fall semester, the initial semester. We all kind of banded together, all the guys on our floor. Good guys. I remember it was a big group. It was 14 of us. We were all just close. We were getting to know each other. It was we were experiencing college together. And then spring semester rolled around, and gosh, I think 12 of the 14 guys joined fraternities. And I just remember them changing, it seemed. I remember them blowing me off or talking down to me or looking at me different. I could just tell they were treating me basically poorly for no reason. I'm well, okay, you guys are clearly I didn't like all that. And so I kind of turned away from that. I never even tried to rush or even wanted to be in one. And I think I would have enjoyed it. I think I would have learned a lot out of it. I'm not, dogging on, anyone that was in a fraternity, but I just knew that it wasn't for me. It wasn't what I was focused on. And I know fraternities are not all about partying. I don't want anyone to think that I'm just boxing them in. But I just knew that I was more focused on growing as an individual rather than growing socially in college. I was more so coming to terms with, no, I'm cool with being alone. I actually prefer being alone, and let me figure out what I can do or what I'm interested in or what truly gets me engaged or what is truly speaking to me. And I read a lot in college. I spent a lot of time alone. I listened to a lot of music, and then I got into writing, and then I started getting into making music, and then I started getting into understanding business better. So basically, long story longer, the one thing I learned in college was college was one big journey of self-discovery. So I didn't learn a lot about a subject, but I learned a lot about this subject, which is myself. All right. Let's see. We're moving along. H2O, as you know. Yep. And we're moving right along. We're going to maybe pick up the pace here, because I think we're almost halfway through, but I want to keep this under an hour. I know I ramble. Okay. Next question. What sets you apart from your peers with selling in your job? What sets you apart from your peers with selling and in your job? What sets me apart? What sets me apart? That's a good question. I think I'm pretty well-rounded. So I can have a lot of different conversations with a lot of different walks of life. I can be stern. I can be manly and talk to some, meathead dude that's aggressive. I can hang with him. I can roll with his punches. And then I can be very, this is going to be so cringe, but I can be very charming. If it's a sweeter, slightly older woman, I'm going to be able to get her to like me, basically. And so I think being well-rounded helps me a lot. I think having a lot of interest helps me connect with a larger pool of people. I cast a wider net on what I connect with people with. I'm smart. I'm educated. I went to college. I read. I'm sharp. I take care of my body. I don't want to toot my own horn, but here we go. Toot, toot. I'm tooting it. I can listen very well. Oh my gosh. Listening is the whole key to doing anything in life. To connecting with any other person, listen to them. Nod your head. Open your ears. Actually listen. Don't pretend to listen. Actually listen. So when someone says something to me, just so I understand, you're saying that you don't like this because of XYZ, and that makes you feel like this? They go, yes, you were listening. It's a subconscious thing, but it creates so much trust and credibility when you just actually listen to people. And then also just being competent and then being persistent, being professionally persistent. Not a jerk, not a pushy salesman, but being professionally persistent and having deep conviction that what you're doing is helpful. And if they would just trust me, that they would at least come out on top in some way, shape, or form. And I'm conveying that nonstop as I'm interacting on the doors. So all that stuff I think sets me apart from my peers in my job. Thank you for your question. All right, next question. Biggest takeaway from leaving your hometown? Biggest takeaway? Hometown sucks. NKY is not all that. The Midwest, I don't like the Midwest. I'd say the biggest takeaway is that there's a lot of life out there. There's a lot of sights and sounds and smells and things to experience and see. And the world is much greater than the little confines of your little hometown zip code. And I don't mean to sound condescending, and I know I do sound condescending, but my biggest takeaway is when I moved out when I was 18, I just remembered, there's new horizons, and I didn't even move that far away. It was 3 hours. But once I started getting into door-to-door sales and I started traveling the country, that's when I was like, wow, what would happen? What would I be like if I would have just graduated high school and then stayed in my hometown? Probably would have ended up okay, but it's just, I don't know. I'm very grateful for my perspective on life and all the things I've been able to feel and experience. I'm like super blessed. And my biggest takeaway from leaving home is biggest takeaway. I like my home. Every time I'm home, it's like, it's just that. It's my home. Like it's super special. Every time I'm there, I just feel so much emotion, so many memories. But when I go back, I feel like I revert in a negative way. Like I go back to a child's mindset of I live with my parents, and if I just want to like lay on the couch and watch TV and eat an entire bag of Doritos on my parents' living room, and then go downstairs and get a Mountain Dew, and then play video games with my little brother, I can do that. And it's like, no. It's nice every once in a while, but I'm very grateful that I have jumped off the nest when I was 18 and spread my little wings and I flew away. Okay. Thank you for your question. Appreciate you very much, person, stranger. All right, next question. What was the biggest hardship other than not having family right around the corner when settling somewhere new? Wow, that was a mouthful. What's the biggest hardship other than not having family? Well, that wasn't too hard, not having my family around. As cold and soulless as that sound. My family drove me, I'm very different from my family. And so I thrived off having some space from them. I'll say that. So that wasn't necessarily a challenge. But what was the biggest hardship other than that when settling somewhere new? The biggest hardship when you're in a new place, I think it's just feeling familiar. Like it creates a little bit of anxiety when I'm in a new space and I don't feel like I have any places to go that are mine or any like foundation that's mine. Like for example, when I moved to Savannah for the summer in 2022, I was freaking out the first week because I didn't have a proper space. I didn't have anywhere to put my belongings. I was basically a nomad living out of a suitcase. Didn't have a good gym to go to. Didn't know the lay of the land. Didn't have a coffee shop. Didn't have a disc golf course. I didn't have things to I didn't have spaces to feel like me in. And I remember that created a lot of negative emotion for me. So I think the hardest part is just the initial week or two, like maybe even the first month. Just getting settled in, it's hard. Moving's not fun. Moving across the country was, it's not the easiest thing in the world, but super worth it. Once you're settled in, it becomes an adventure because no one knows who you are in that new space. No one, you're not bringing any reputation with you to the new area. It's like you get a fresh start and you can be whoever you want to be, and you're incentivized to make new friends. You're incentivized to put yourself out there. You're incentivized to explore, and and those are all really positive things. And then you grow and you learn a lot, and you take something with you every new place you live in, which has been really good for me in my overall outlook on the world and such. Yep. And we're cruising along. Let's see how far we are here. All right. We're about 10 questions through. We're 9 through. We got about 6 more here. Let's get into the next queue. Well, let's take a little intermission. How you guys doing? Right now is a good time to leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. I don't need to prompt you. Just drop me a comment. Say hi. Just give a thumbs up. Say what up. Tell me something about you. I don't even know who y'all are watching this. So let me know who you are. And thanks for sticking around and hanging out. We got a lot more questions here. Don't go anywhere. But yeah, I wanted to be real for a second. Just say thank you to everyone that submitted a question. Means a lot to me. It's fuel for me to keep doing this. And I'm grateful for y'all. And I'm grateful for this Tivoli. Thank you, Tivoli. Uh-huh. Yes. Okay. Next question from the iPad Pro. What led you to choosing the destination you decided to settle in? Well, if you don't know, I'm settled in Colorado, the beautiful, wondrous state of Colorado and the Colorado Rocky Mountain High. What led me here? Well, I've always kind of liked Colorado. I remember I drove out here sporadically in the summer of 2015. I didn't tell anyone about it. I didn't even tell my girlfriend at the time. I didn't tell my family. I just woke up one day at 7 a.m., packed a backpack into my car, in my Ford Taurus, and I just started driving. See ya. Oh, see ya. Mom, Dad, not even Mom, Dad, just walk out the door. Mom calls, hey, what's going on? I'm in Denver, eating a burger. What are you doing? And they freaked out. Everyone freaked out on me. Everyone thought I was losing my mind. I'm like, you guys suck. Anyone that's turning this fun adventure into like a negative thing, you suck. And I remember that was a big learning experience for me. So let me give more context there. I wanted to visit Colorado when I was going into my sophomore college year. I was like, I want to do a road trip out west. I think Colorado would be a cool place to visit. I've never been. Asked a bunch of friends, asked close people in my life. Everybody had this, that, and the other excuse. Can't do it because I got work. I can't get off. Can't do it because I don't have any extra money. Can't do it because my grandma's in a broker. Dude, everyone had an excuse. And I said, you know what? What's stopping me from going? I have time. I have money. I have the courage to just do it myself. Oh, let me go do this. Drove across the country by myself. And I had a blast, and I saw a lot, and it was very opened me up. So I did that back in 2015, and Colorado's always just had a special place in my heart. I've tried to move here with my friend Jake back in 2019. We were thinking about it, and then the pandemic happened, and then Asia was actually thinking about going to a college out here in Colorado, and she had visited, and she has a good friend in Colorado Springs, and I had actually been here a second time for door-to-door sales. We blitzed out here in Colorado Springs. So I'd been out here twice. Asia had been out here a few times. And we both were familiar with the area. We both love Colorado. And it kind of boiled down to, why not? Like, why not move to Colorado? There's so many reasons to. Do I need to list them? No. You guys know. You guys know what's up. So anyways, that's what led me here, I guess. Good question. Getting a little hot. I always get a little toasty in here. Hang on. All right, so we got 5 more questions. 5 more. We're rolling through them. This is fun. I can't believe I've been doing this for, 37 minutes or 38 minutes already. It's flying by. I'm having so much fun. All right, my lips are chapped. Here we go. All right. What's the craziest thing that has happened to you since you moved to Colorado? Oh, the craziest thing. I don't really care for questions that make me pick one thing. Like, what's the utmost crazy? It's just too hard to find. So I'll give you a few questions, a few crazy things that have happened to me since I've been out here in Colorado. Going to see Mark Rebier at Red Rocks was a pretty wild experience, I'd say. That was up there. Getting to dabble and experiment with psilocybin since I moved out here. That's been crazy. There's stores that'll just sell it out here in Colorado, so I have dabbled into that. That experience, I've had some good experience with friends that have come out. It's just, that always just, it's always crazy, quote unquote crazy, for sure. That's happened. The concerts I've been to, there's been moments where it just, I'm usually alone in nature. It'll like strike me to my core that like this is real. Like I feel like since I've moved here, even to this day, like there's times where I can't believe it's real, that my life is the way it is, that it's set up the way it is, that I get to live here, that I'm just this fortunate and blessed. Like it almost like I don't even associate with my current lifestyle because it's so crazy. It's something I've wanted to do for so long. Like if, 10 years you would have told me like, hey, 10 years from now, you'll be living in Colorado. You'll be with the person that you want to be with for the rest of your life. You'll have a beautiful apartment full of everything you could ever want material-wise, with an amazing view of a mountain range. You'll have the perfect cat, the softest little tiger cat you've ever seen. You'll be in the best shape of your life. You'll be reading a lot. You'll be free from the 9-to-5 work life. You'll have amazing friends. You'll have amazing family. You'll have amazing experiences. You'll be financially independent and financially free. Dude, if you'd have told me that 10 years ago, let's keep it going. I forgot some things. You'll also be extremely competent when it comes to writing. You'll be extremely competent when it comes to being self-sufficient and making music. You'll be embarking on new creative endeavors such as podcasting. You'll be disc golfing in the Rocky Mountain Riverside. You'll be, just it goes on. But if you would have told me that 10 years ago, dude, I would have said, shut up. I would have said, no way. There ain't no way. That sounds too good to be true. What's the catch? I would have been skeptical if you'd have told me that. So now that I'm here and I'm in it, I can't believe it. It's quote unquote crazy. So the craziest thing that's happened to me since I moved out here is being. Being is the craziest thing. All right, let's keep it rolling. Where do you want to end up to build your family? I love Colorado, but me and Asia are moving to Hawaii. Newsflash. Whoosh, what? Record scratch. Whoosh, whoosh. Yep, we're going to eventually move to Hawaii and potentially build our family there and then come home. It's still up in the air, not set in stone, but that's the plan. That's the plan. Bet you couldn't have guessed that. Moving on. What is your first tattoo going to be? I was thinking about getting basically Shrek as big, like basically his whole head and face covering my entire back. I want it colored in green. I want his ears to almost kind of wrap around the sides of my torso into my armpits. And I'm going to get Shrek on my back. That's not the tattoo. I don't know. I made that up. Tivoli is gone. My first tattoo, I just know it's going to be timeless. And I like the idea of the patchwork tattoos. I like the idea of the small ones. I think I want it to be somewhere I can see it. I like the idea of like a compass on my right palm. I have some artists that I just think that looks cool. Even just like a, not an X, but a 4-quadrant, like a cross, not a cross, but like a square quadrant on my palm would be cool. I like the idea of, this is corny and cheesy, but it is what it is. I like the idea of just love, comma, not fear, or love over fear, or love is greater than fear, little symbol. But I'm so far away from actually showing up to a tattoo shop to seriously consider getting a tattoo. I'm very far away from there. Might never happen. Next cue. How many keys is too many keys? Asking for a friend. You know, I've thought about this a few times, and man, this is going to be cliche, but you can never have too many keys. You really can't. I mean, every key unlocks a new door. Every key opens up new opportunity. Every key solves a piece of the puzzle. So you can never have too many keys. You cannot. All right, the last cue. We've made it. We're coming up on the last cue. Hopefully it's a goodie. If not, blame the anonymous stranger. Here we go. Last cue. Oh, it says, what's your fave TV show? And I don't watch TV. I don't. I actually dislike TV. I know it's a shocker. Very contrarian of me, but I don't like committing to a season. I don't like committing to I don't like selling multiple hours of my life to some consumption of entertainment. I know I'm coming off as arrogant, but I just don't like it. I don't like committing to a TV show. It's too much time. I feel like I'm wasting time. Although it's very enjoyable and entertaining, I don't like it. I don't think it's a good use of my time. There's too many, and this is been a reoccurring theme in my adulthood is I just don't really care for movies, and I don't really care for TV shows, and I get a lot of flack for that. But I find it hard to focus on them. I get bored with them. I struggle to pick up on like the deeper meanings. Like, for example, Asia is really good at piecing things together. We'll be watching, like, for example, we had a movie night. We watched the 4th Harry Potter. I was lost as can be. But, you know, Asia's like pointing out like, this is connected to this. And do you remember in the first 20 seconds when this happened? Now it ties back in here. And I'm like, why are they floating? Like, why did that ship just go underwater? Like, I just don't get them. I don't like fiction, and I feel like there's just so many more things that are engaging to me, so many more things that I find are more productive uses of my time. I'm engaged in a lot of things. I'm interested in a lot of different activities, and I like to create things. I like to physically be engaged. I like to be creative, and I feel like sitting on my couch consuming a digital product that someone else created, I find that that's not how I really like to spend my time. But if I had to list off about 5 or 10 shows I like, here we go. It would be Family Guy. It'd be Breaking Bad. It would be, I used to watch Mythbusters growing up. How It's Made was a good TV show. I watched Jersey Shore in middle school because it was popular and I was Italian. I thought I was cool. I like TV show. Kill Tony. I don't know Kill Tony stand-up comedy. That's not really a TV show, but I will count it. It's Kill Tony. I do watch that. TV show. That's it. That's my list. And I don't really even watch any of those shows anymore. Anyways, you guys asked it, and I answered it. We did it. We drank the Tivoli. Shout out them. We answered all the questions. And that was pod 23. Just keep on shooting them shots. But genuinely, I feel like I've already overthanked you, but I do want to say again, thank you so much for sending in questions. Thank you for engaging. Hope I got all the questions done, and it is what it is. I answered them in the way that felt natural to me. So what you get is what you got. But thanks you guys for listening. Gimme the Keys 23, and we'll catch you on the next pod. Give me all the keys, I'm about to unlock. Give me all the keys, I'm about to unlock. Give me all the keys, I'm about to unlock. Give me all the keys, I'm about to unlock.